Hello, Amusement Park Portal. With only 2 weeks to go before the beginning of the coaster season starts at Cedar Point, I thought it'd be fun to look at the park and check out all the changes that are taking place this year. We're going to look at everything new. Of course, the rides, we're going to look at the food, games, live entertainment, and so much more. So stick around and watch our video here, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button at the end. That really helps us out. 2025 is shaping up to be a record-breaking season for America's Roller Coaster. Not only with all the changes going on at the park, but they are opening up not one, but essentially two brand new major coasters this year. We all know the issues that Top Thrill 2 had last year, so we're not going to dwell too much on that. But the park is advertising that the park is aiming to open the ride up on opening day. And the ride has been spotted testing lately, so fingers crossed. Now the other new coaster making its debut at the park in 2025, Siren's Curse. Now Siren's Curse is a record-breaking steel tilt coaster. It's scheduled to open sometime in 2024. It's not expected to open on opening day, and the park's made that pretty clear. However, they do expect it to open, before the summer crowds arrive, is what I've been told. This ride is themed around Greek mythology sirens. The ride is said to be the tallest, fastest, and longest tilt coaster in North America. At this year's Winter Chill Out event, the park showed off Siren Curse's trains, which will feature onboard audio and lighting to enhance the ride experience. And great news if you're planning on riding either Top Thrill 2 or Siren's Curse. Cedar Point has announced that lockers for both these attractions will be free this year. That's right, so no more trying to hide your phone in the bushes or shelling out big bucks for a locker. They got you covered this year. And we got some more news regarding rides. Over the winter, Snake River Falls was removed to make room for a future attraction that has not been announced yet, but also Professor Dilbert's Frontier Fling was also removed off the Frontier Trail, in addition to the clearing of Millennium Island that included a jungle gym for the kids to play on, a fast service food location, restrooms, and it was also used during the park's Hollow Weekends event for Blood on the Bayou. And again, as of now, no replacements have been announced. It was also mentioned that Millennium Force will be receiving some love. Not only is it going to be receiving lift hill enhancements, but it's also going to be receiving a new fresh coat of paint that they're planning on finishing up this summer. And we do have a sad update coming from the petting farm at the park, which is, as you know, located on the Frontier Trail. One of the petting farm's alpacas, Coco, recently passed, so he will not be with us this year. Very sad. If you ever have time to visit the petting farm, highly recommend you do so. They have some wonderful animals there. You can even feed them if you want. So rest in peace, Coco. All right, we have some news coming out of Cedar Point Shores Water Park. 2 new slides are coming to the former Cross Current Tower, which has been vacant for the past year. These 2 tube slides feature a twisty layout, with one of them having a very translucent section in the fiberglass, allowing the sun to shine light through them and creating a lighting effect above you as you slide down. This will be a welcome addition at the water park, as the lines tend to get very long here on a hot summer's day. All right, the 2025 season at Cedar Point is going to bring us some new games as well. The park announced that it'll be introducing 15 new games to the Midways this year. Now, these games will not have hosts working at them, so you'll have to purchase a card to play these games, kind of like you've had to do all along. You have to buy the cards, put the money on the card in order to play the game, because they don't accept cash. Here's some renderings of a few of the new games debuting this year. Cedar Point is also known for its vast variety of food options, and delicious food at that. And this year we got a couple of pieces of big news regarding Cedar Point's food operations. First off, the park has a new head chef. That's right, Chef Christopher has come to the park with a wealth of experience. So I'm excited to see what delicious treats Chef Christopher has in store for us this summer. And one of the changes taking place this year is with the Happy Fryer, kind of right across from Gemini's entrance. They're going to still sell up their delicious French fries that everybody likes and loves, but they'll have an inside line for you to wait in now instead of having to wait outside. And let's admit, instead of all those windows, having one line go through their cafeteria style is going to be a lot better and more efficient for this favorite location. All right, one thing I hope we see an improvement of this year is more icy stands located throughout the park. With this upgraded drink plan they're now offering with coffee and the ices and hot chocolate, it only makes sense as the demand has really increased for ices throughout the park during the summer. After losing Melt last year, it looks like we've just lost another indoor eating option. Chicky and Pete's looks as if it is no longer going to remain at the park. It's not listed on their website, nor is there any mention of it on the app or website. All right, during the winter chill out event, the park had mentioned that they're going to make an effort to keep Derby Dogs open more frequently than it has been. I've been going to the park probably 5-6 times a month, and I think I've seen it open once, so this is great. I'm excited to try this place. Are you a fan of Famous Dave's Barbecue Shack? Well, hate to tell you, you're no longer going to eat there if you're planning on going to the Cedar Point Marina. You're going to have to make your way over to Castaway Bay now, as the restaurant has moved and taken over the former spot of Quicker Steak and Lube. All right, switching gears, we're going to look at the park's entertainment department. There are several exciting changes taking place this year. All right, a few of these shows have already been announced. Class of '99 yearbook at the Jack Aldrich Theater will be making its return. Lusty Lil's Western Road Show at the Gossip Gulch stage. That's kind of over there in Frontier Town. And we have Rock This Way at the Red Garter Saloon. Country Crossroads at the Palace Theater, which is nice to see because typically in the summer that theater sits dark until Halloween weekends when the Wake the Dead show starts. We also got a Rockabilly show at the Backbeat stage, Boardwalk Nights, the Peanuts 75th anniversary, bands in residence, and much more. You'll want to head over to the park's official website or app to find out the daily show times and schedules for the park's live entertainment. All right, one of the biggest changes to the live entertainment department this year will be, well, they're missing the main stage now that was located right in front of Iron Dragon. Now, this stage was used for all different shows. You had several shows that ran there during the summer, like character themed shows, and they had like a summer singing and dancing show. And it was heavily used during Halloween weekends for like the Shrieks was one of them. They had several shows showing on this main stage throughout the summer, along with special events. So I'm curious to see if they moved the stage or if they just moved the shows elsewhere in the park to existing show stages. Like I had mentioned earlier, the Palace Theater in the back of the park, well, that's going to receive a show during the summer. This also begs the question of whether or not we will see the return of Midnight Syndicate up in the front of the park at the Jack Aldrich Theater. All right, I got to thinking, where could they move the main stage to? Like a new location? Well, here's a few right here. Remember where the Matterhorn used to be located, or even where the Scrambler used to be located? That's now an empty plot of land, so you could probably shoehorn a stage into these areas very easily. Another possible area that they can move the stage to is where the 3-Point Challenge currently sits across from where Chicky and Pete's was. In reality, the best place for the stage to be relocated to would be on the boardwalk. There are several locations on the boardwalk. Again, you would have to probably remove the 3-Point Challenge. That would be the best location for it, because not only would that give you the space for a stage, but it will also butt up against the Coliseum Arcade and make for a great dressing rooms and backstage area. You also got the area where the high dive show was during the boardwalk nights. That little plot of land right there is open. in front of the giant wheel is another possibility, or even over next to the Atomic Scrambler. There's a little plot of land, although I think that one might be a little bit too small. Another option on the boardwalk is if you relocate the gatekeeper sign. That opens up a whole new area. And my final area that the stage could be relocated to is one that probably not many people think about. But right behind what used to be the Toff's Ice Cream Parlor on Main Street, kind of by the front of the park there's this empty area that used to be home to a couple retail options, and when the Demon Drop was in operation, this went all the way through. But it's no longer in use, and this is a nice plot of land in the front of the park that would be a perfect spot for a major stage. One of the events not returning again this year is the Frontier Festival. I'm really disappointed about this one. I really enjoyed this event. Had some tasty foods to try out, and it was a lot of fun in general. I hope the park considers bringing this back in the future because we really enjoyed it. As far as the park's merchandise department goes, nothing really spectacular going on this year, but you can expect the collector buttons for this year and of course lots of Siren's Curse merch. Alright, let's look at some other changes taking place around the park, including the perimeter road being relocated due to the construction of Siren's Curse. Now if you check out one of our videos last year of the Siren's Curse construction, we covered the road a little bit, but here's a shot of what the new perimeter road is going to look like. Another change taking place this year, you'll notice as soon as you enter the park's 150th anniversary sign that's been there for, well, roughly about 5 years now, is being changed to this. And I like it. I really do. This is a great spot for people to take pictures, with their groups in the front of the park, school groups. I always see people taking pictures in front of this sign. It's such a great icon at the front of the park. I'm glad they're reinvesting in it and keeping it around. It's never too early to talk about Halloween weekends. This year's Halloween weekends will take place September 11th throughout November 1st. Now it's kind of odd, as November 1st is a Saturday. And last year I remember going November 1st and it was pretty busy. I was kind of surprised that they don't open the park up for that Sunday following it. I mean, they're usually open Sundays anyway. I get that it's the last day of the year, but wouldn't it make sense to open up the park on that Sunday also? Alright, and that's going to conclude our video here. Now this isn't everything that's happening this year. These are all kind of like the major things happening throughout the park. And we still have a couple weeks left before the park opens, so I'm sure more will be announced between now and then. And as of the recording of this, we really don't have any new information yet as far as some of the food offerings coming to the park this year. Anything like that. We do have some news though. We do have new electronic signs that are going to be making their way to the park, showing you like wait times. And I'm sure they'll be ad-based, they'll be showing ads throughout the park. Maybe the weather. I know Six Flags has them in their parks. They're pretty cool. Let's see. Opening day is May 3rd. Closing day, like I said, is November 1st this year. That's on a Saturday, not a Sunday, so don't forget that. I believe that's it. One question I would like to ask, though. It's going to be an interesting year this year with a bigger customer base coming in. Now you have all the Six Flags pass holders upgrading their passes. So is that going to mean something for Cedar Point? Is Cedar Point going to look a lot busier this year? Or do you think with the suffering economy and the new tariffs put in place are going to prevent a lot of our international visitors like Canada and Europe and all that from visiting the park? And that also includes working at the park also. That could be an issue. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What you are looking forward to most this year at Cedar Point, and what are some of your concerns? And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys out on the midways real soon.